Will Suicide Squad kill the Justice League be successful, or will it fall short like other live service games? I'm sure many of you have seen the PlayStation State of Play event where they showcased 15 minutes of the Suicide Squad game and also a bunch of other details of what the game will entail. It is what a lot of us feared it would be, a live service game very similar to Destiny and Marvel's Avengers, which completely failed. Not Destiny, that is, Marvel's Avengers. When I watched the presentation yesterday, there are things that I think look really good and really cool, but there are also things that I personally do not like and I think look very questionable. I won't be getting too much into this, but I'm just gonna say once again, I don't know how viable the Suicide Squad is. For some reason, DC seems to be very keen on pushing the Suicide Squad, even though they simply just don't seem to be selling well anymore, and things seem to be falling short on that team. I do have a feeling this is the last big Suicide Squad type of event we will see for quite some time moving forward. Regardless, I'm gonna buy it. I'm sure a lot of you are gonna buy it. I'm sure massive fans of the Squad will buy it. Just fans of DC will buy this game. So as they describe, this is taking place in the Arkhamverse. It is 5 years after Arkham Knight, and something's going on in Metropolis where Brainiac has taken over and has successfully brainwashed the Justice League. And there is a character that we are introduced to officially being in the game, and it is Lex Luthor. It's great to see more popular DC characters show up in this game. And now we do have it official to us that Wonder Woman is the only person, or seems like to be the only person in the Justice League, who has not been affected by Brainiac's brainwashing, and now we're going to get some sort of team up between the Suicide Squad, potentially Lex Luthor, and Wonder Woman to take down the Justice League. How the story of this game will transpire and what will end up happening at the end of the game, I don't know. But the one thing I do really like about this game is that the story does seem very interesting, and I am in for this. I say the graphics do look solid. I think some of the character designs are really good. I think overall the game is looking pretty right now. Gameplay looks 50-50 to me. I'm not sold on it. The looter system is a little off to me. The leveling system, once again, is a little off to me. And I think just at the end of the day, why I am very cautious about this game and why I don't have the highest of hopes about this game anymore, it's because of the fact that it is a live service game. What I find very fascinating is that this game is obviously going to have a lot of attributes similar to Marvel's Avengers. Live service games were very, very popular 5 years ago. When they tried to do it with a superhero game in Marvel's Avengers, it absolutely bombed. It did not do well. I'm just surprised that a company like Rocksteady, who knows how to make superhero games, who was wildly successful with the Batman games, thought it was a good idea to make a live service game like Marvel's Avengers, but in DC mode with the Suicide Squad. I'm not clear on the thought process they had creating this game. I'm obviously not the only one who feels very conflicted about this game, and I actually found a really good Forbes article about it. This article's written by Paul Tassi, and he actually does a great job of outlining a lot of the things that he is not a fan of, and a lot of the things that he has seen the internet complain about, and personally, I think for good reason. So I'm going to go through all of these well-written points and give you some of my opinions on them. So first of all, the gameplay is incredibly arcadey, focused heavily on aerial combat across all 4 characters, classes with access to grappling hooks, teleporters, and jetpacks. The game that immediately came to mind when I saw the footage was Crackdown, not a favorable comparison. Yeah, I absolutely agree. The gameplay does not have many similarities to the Arkham games. I mean, the free roam capabilities, the weird grappling drone hook that Harley Quinn has, the jetpack Deadshot has, Boomerang's teleporter, and to be honest with you, I'm blanking on what King Shark had, but they look decent enough and fun enough for me to travel around the world of Metropolis. Although the game's aerial combat, the gun system seems like it's a little too much. Even the hand-to-hand close quarter combat, it doesn't look as clean cut as the Arkhamverse did. Maybe we should not be comparing this to the Arkham games, because even though it's in the same world, it is very clearly a different type of game. For example, this does not look like it is going to be free flow combat. Even if it shares similarities, it certainly will not be played that way. The game is heavily loot focused. While each character does have a unique kit, they share access to a number of weapon classes that will be looted during the game. SMGs, assault rifles, snipers, Gatling guns, etc. So he does mention that the looting system is very similar to Borderlands, and I think that's okay. I think if you want to do a looter, some people like it, some people don't, some people are okay with it. I'm in the okay with it category, but of course, now that you're tying it into a live service game, this is where it now gets even more iffier. And also, too, it's going to be a level system game. It's going to be a game where, well, my gun is only a level 5, but I have to fight enemies who are a level 8. I'm not going to have a high damage output. I was really hoping this game wasn't going to be modeled that way, but unfortunately it is. Now, there's a give and take here. I thought the gameplay we got was a little boring. The amount of shooting this game seems to have is kind of disappointing. I know they're gonna have their own melee combat moves and they might have their own powers and abilities, but really, I didn't see too much of that. All I really saw was gunfire, just them jumping around in the air, shooting enemies, shooting objects, shooting vehicles, and it was either with an assault rifle, an SMG, a rocket launcher, or something. It was just a lot of third-person shooting, and I don't think it was the best showcase for a DC Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game. But then on the other side, I will say, when it comes to the looting, when it comes to the customization of these weapons, I like how different the weapons can look, almost to the point where my weapon may never look anywhere similar as your weapon. I like how you can give it scopes and extended mags. You can even customize the camos of the gun. The barrels can be longer. It's just the fact that the game looks like it has way too much gunplay. There's a gear score that you're meant to improve over time to increase your power, nearly identical to a system you'd find in The Division, Destiny, or Avengers. Like I said, it's this system of, oh no, my weapon's a level 5, but I'm facing level 8 enemies. Or I'm only wearing level 2 armor, but my enemies are level 6. And when you look at the 3 games he's mentioned here, Division, Destiny, and Marvel's Avengers, there's really only one game here that has found somehow, some way to be successful, and that is Destiny. The Division was quickly forgotten about, and Marvel's Avengers ended up being terrible. The game is 4-player co-op like Borderlands, but unlike Borderlands, there is no true solo play, as playing by yourself will have bots filling the other roles, exactly like Marvel's Avengers, and even if you are playing solo, the game requires a constant internet connection. That is simply just so stupid. I don't understand this. I don't understand how a company who has been so dedicated to solo gameplay, to story mode gameplays, how all of a sudden they say, you know what, even if you want to play it alone, you can't play it without an online internet connection. It is so dumb. There's no purpose for that. And I just don't understand why they thought that was a good idea. I know we live in a world nowadays where online gaming is a thing, battle royales and games as a service, but not every game needs to be like that. And we've seen how solo story mode games nowadays actually outsell multiplayer games. And if you want a quick example, just look at how good God of War has done. All right, and I'm going to read these 2 bullet points together. The game has a battle pass that it reiterates is cosmetic only, but it's a battle pass all the same. And there's a store tab shown in the menus for whatever that sells. During the presentation, Rocksteady very much made it clear they will support this game with live service features well into the future, like new missions and even new playable characters. So the minute I saw that leak of the battle pass menu, I immediately knew both of these bullet points would be true. Great, the battle pass is cosmetics only. It's not like it's a situation where it's a pay to win, it's a pay to get better at the game. But at the same time, I stick by this. Why in the world am I being forced to pay for a cool costume? It's just such a low blow to the gaming community, and unfortunately, so many video game companies do this nowadays. It is unfortunate that just because I think a costume is cool, I'm being forced to pay for it. It's just really unfortunate. They showed so many cool costumes in this game, like King Shark can wear a Superman outfit. Harley Quinn has bits of Amazonian armor on her. There's even old school and classic Captain Boomerang. It's really, really neat, but how many months can I go by buying battle passes just for cosmetic items? Not everybody can afford this. But at the end of the day, I guess they don't care about everybody. They only care about the people who will continuously buy it. And then, of course, this game is going to get add-ons, DLCs, updates. There's going to probably be new story missions, and we're going to get new characters, which I imagined was going to happen originally. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing like a Deathstroke show up, or if we start seeing any other member who has taken place in the Suicide Squad. I'm just throwing this out there. This would be really cool to tie it into the Arkham world. It would be really neat if we got Jason Todd, and maybe that is what he did after he disappeared at the end of Arkham Knight. Just throwing that out there. But yes, there will be new characters that come out. But at the end of the day, they just have to hope this game sells well so they can do that stuff. Because this might look all too familiar to Marvel's Avengers, where the game didn't sell well, people weren't playing the game, and whereas they may have had this wild idea to make 10, 12 DLCs, they only ended up making 1, 2, maybe even 3, and the game just collapsed from there, and it could potentially happen here too. Like I said, there are things about the game that looks good. I think cinematic-wise it looks great, graphic-wise it looks great, even the story itself looks like it could be really compelling. What is holding it back for me, clearly the writer of this article and a lot of people, the gameplay doesn't look super promising. The whole looter system isn't sitting right with people. The battle pass certainly is not sitting right with a lot of people. Also, just the fact that it feels very intrusive. It's like they know this is not what people wanted, but they're forcing it down our throats anyways. And of course, being a DC fan and the love and respect I have for what Rocksteady has done for us in the Arkhamverse, I am going to get this game, but I am cautious. I don't think it's going to capture that same magic, and at the end of the day, I just don't know if this game is going to sell well at all. I really hope I end up being pleasantly surprised with how Gotham Knights ended up being. We need a win in DC gaming. I just don't know if that's going to be the case for this game. They could have given us anything. They could have given us another Batman game. They could have given us a Superman game like they were planning on doing. They could have given us a Wonder Woman game, and I know we are getting one from Monolith. We just have no idea if it's connected to what Rocksteady is creating. They could have done so many things, but instead they're giving us a live service game in the Suicide Squad, and it just feels like a really odd decision considering they knew we wanted another DC hero, or we wanted another Batman game. Even a Justice League game would be great. Then again, that would even worry me because maybe they would make a Justice League game the same way they're doing the Suicide Squad game. We'll have to see what happens, guys. We're not that far off. It comes out May. We're basically only 2.5, 3 months away. So it'll be here before we know it, and then we'll finally get to see what it's like. But anyways, everyone, let me know your thoughts on this entire game so far. Let me know if you're going to be buying it. But that is it for this one, and until next time, I will talk to you all very soon.